Welcome to today's session. In this session, we are trying to understand physical layer. If you follow this channel and watch all the videos, then you will be knowing that I am covering entire TCP/IP model in this series. So all these layers we have covered, and now we are reached here, which is the physical layer. So if you want to know all the concept and want to understand what exactly happens at each layer and what are the concept involved, then you should go through the playlist. So today let's try to understand physical layer. We have seen till now IP. Important things are IP, frames, right? MAC. All these things we have seen, headers, but none of these things travels through the wire. None of these things travels through the wire. Only things which travel through the wire is signals. Correct? And that's what happens at physical layer. So let's try to understand what is physical layer. The physical layer defines the raw 0 and 1s raw bits, how those raw bits needs to be physically transmitted from one device to other device. How those needs to be transmitted is defined by physical layer. It deals with electricity, light, radio waves, timing, voltage, frequency, and it does not understand, as I said, frames, IP, MAC, port, VLAN. It doesn't understand anything of that. So physical layers only deals with signals. So if I want to give you analogy for better understand, then application layer is about what you want to say. What you want to say. Then transport layer is like address on the envelope. Correct? You have written what you want to say, you have drafted a letter, then you are putting address on the envelope. Network layer is like finding the city or path across cities and countries, right? And data link layer is related to MAC address. So it is about finding the particular device. And physical layer is about roads, vehicles, vehicles plus fuel, all the physical things which are needed to transfer the later whatever you have drafted, right? So that's what is the physical layer task. So on high level, so what actually travels on the wire? It's not packets, not frames, only electrical pulses, right? Radio waves if it's Wi-Fi, correct? Then light pulses, it is fiber optic. So generally high voltage will be denoted by 1, low voltage will be denoted by 0, and that's it. Everything is covered here. So now let's try to understand the responsibilities of physical layer. So physical layer is actually responsible for the voltage level, how the things will be represented. Voltage level, then light pulses, radio frequency, all these things physical layer is responsible for. Then how fast a bit can transfer is also a responsibility of physical layer. 100 mbps for example, or 1 gbps, all these things are handled at physical layer, or you can say these are the properties of physical layer. 10 gbps for example. Then what medium to use, correct? What road to use? If we want to go with analogy, we have road, we have a we have a sea cables, we have a Wi-Fi or air transmission through air. All these things we have. So it can go copper cable, fiber optic cable, air, all these things will be decided by physical layer. And then how the bits needs to be synchronized, bit synchronization, because at the end of the day entire your message needs to be transferred to the destination, right? So how those needs to be synchronized, what is should be a starting sequence, it should end properly, all these things, and the timings are critical. So all these are handled by physical layer. And then related to fifth is how far a signal can travel, because there will be noise in the wires, right? There is a attenuation. So with time or with distance, the voltage will get dropped, right? The frequency will get dropped. So noise handling, all these things physical layer handle. So these are the five responsibilities of physical layer. So now one thing which is very important is cable. Everybody can understand this, like cable quality. If you have a better cable quality, you have a faster network, right? You have a clean signal. If you have better quality, you have a clean signal. Then stable speed you will have. Then fewer retransmission. Your packet, your data, your bits will not get dropped. You don't need retransmission of it. But if you use a cheap, then you will have a more noise, more bit errors, right? Bit errors. Then more frames get dropped, possible. All these things are the problems which you can face if the cheap cables we are using. So let's try to understand now some of the common confusions which people will be having. So is physical layer a hardware? Then mostly yes. The answer is yes. Physical layer is altogether related with hardware. But at some point of time it also includes some encoding rules, because we have seen that it has to send the bits from source to destination. So it needs to decide in which, what is the starting, what is the ending, what should be the encoding, all these things it has, and their timings also, right? Signal timing. So it also have some part which is not hardware, but it is mostly a hardware. Does physical layer know the Mac? So physical layer doesn't deal with Mac. It doesn't deal with Mac. Data link layer is the one who deals with Mac. Now the third question is, does Wi-Fi have a physical layer? Because people will see that, right? Wi-Fi works through air. So does it have a physical layer? So answer is yes. Wi-Fi is a physical layer. It works in the form of radio waves, right? So it is a physical layer. It's a part of physical layer. So that's all about the physical layer. We have covered the important concept and try to understand physical layer with the help of some analogy and some examples. So that's all in this session. If you like this video, do share, subscribe and tell your friends about my channel. That will help me a lot. So thank you.